defeat. Others tasted victory. And today, the winners will be crowned. 16 of the best Blizzard RTS players converged here at BlizzCon 2008 to showcase their skills against some of the best to ever play the game. Today, 2 of those players will surface as BlizzCon RTS champions. The final matches of StarCraft Brood War and Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne are about to ascend to the stages of BlizzCon. Who will be the champions of these games? The answer is only a few matches away. Today, every unit is crucial. Every play is life and death. Prepare to attack and ready your micro. This is the conclusion of the 2008 StarCraft Invitational and the Warcraft 3 Global Finals. It's standing room only here at the RTS stage at BlizzCon 2008 in Anaheim, California at the Anaheim Convention Center. I'm DJ Wheat, the host of the festivities here on the RTS stage, and joining me for this amazing StarCraft Brood War Invitational Grand Finals is none other than Tasteless from GomTV.net. What's up, buddy?
Man, I am so excited. We're here in the finals now, and I have to say an unusual finals indeed to have these 2 players, the old school guys here, but exciting nonetheless. Let's do this.
All right, let's do this indeed. But first, let me introduce our strategic mind here at the StarCraft casting station. It's Artosis. What's up?
Oh, I am so happy. Nada versus Savior. Oh, my God.
Well, before we get started, why don't you give these 2 guys a big round of applause? They've been bringing you and calling all the action all weekend long. And you guys might have as many fans as the StarCraft players have out here. So are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and introduce our players for this matchup. First and foremost, both players from Korea. One of them a Zerg player, the other a Terran player. Let's meet our Zerg player first. It is Savior.
Savior is such a strong Zerg player. He was the former #1 player in the world, and he kind of ended up entering the slump, but I guess he's starting to get out of that now because he's here in the finals. A lot of people did not expect him to get far, and he has slain some deadly nerds on his road to the finals, so I'm quite impressed.
He is Savior, the Nerd Devastator.
Yes.
And Artosis, your thoughts on Savior?
You know, he has to be one of the top 2 Zergs of all time. He has revolutionized this game, and he's just deadly. He looks like he's playing very well now, too.
All right, well, you actually wanted this matchup here in the grand finals, and you got it. His opponent is a Terran player, also from Korea. It's Nada.
All right, now Nada, he's no, well, let me put it like this. I mean, he's easily one of the most well-known players of all time. Probably the most accomplished professional gamer of all time as well. And I think this could be his, yet another chance for him to win a huge event. I think he's also the highest-paid professional gamer. This guy's a serious baller.
Yeah, he definitely is a serious baller, Nick. And he is really probably the best Terran of all time. And everyone is a fan. Doesn't matter if you're a Zerg player, a Protoss player, a Terran player, you love Nada.
All right, those are our 2 players, and we'll meet them again in just a second. We do know our maps for what could be a double best of 3. Now, keep in mind, Savior is coming. Well, he's in the winner's bracket. He has not lost a match yet. So Nada would need to defeat Savior twice in order to be crowned the 2008 StarCraft Invitational winner here at BlizzCon 2008. With that being said, our 3 maps for our first set of 3 will be Andromeda, Othello, and then last but not least, should we need to go to it, it will be Coliseum. So let's take a look at Andromeda first off. We've seen it here throughout the tournament, and we'll get our comments here from Tasteless and Artosis on this map.
Andromeda is a really popular map right now. It's one of these macro-intensive maps. You really have to focus on economy. It's also one of these maps that has a very large middle. I mean, it's very open, so flanking is quite strong.
You know, Andromeda, although it leans towards Terran against Zerg, I think this is a map that is very good for Savior's style. He likes to Defiler Turtle, and it's a long map, very good for that.
All right, Andromeda will be our first map, and then we'll bring you highlights on Othello, and should we need to go to that 3rd match, as we mentioned, Coliseum. So you guys ready for some StarCraft action? I I think so. I'm not kidding when I'm saying it is standing room only, and even the sitting room seems to be taken now. So, Nick, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Artosis, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's get the first game going of the StarCraft Invitational Grand Finals here at BlizzCon 2008.
All right, we're in the game now. The game has just started up, and looking at the map over here, we can see, okay, Savior's going to be at the top left, and meanwhile, at the bottom right is going to be Nada.
You know, this is just perfect for Savior. It's a very long rush distance for Nada. You know, if he tries to open with any sort of bunker rush, it's going to be a long ways away, and Savior should have a nice economical opening this game.
Yeah, you know, one thing to keep in mind is that bunker rushes actually have been pretty popular on this map. A lot of Terrans making a wall in on the low ground and then being very aggressive. So if Nada opts to do that, it could really hurt him.
Yeah, but, you know, I don't think Nada's going to do that. I think Nada's going to go for a straight-up macro game here. It's a very good map for Terran versus Zerg. You get an extremely easy third base, so something like SK Terran, which is just Marine Medic Science Vessel, would be just brilliant against Savior.
Yeah, I think that's smart. And, you know, unit mix like that, you know, Medic Marine and Science Vessels, makes it really easy to dodge flanks. I mean, if you're getting a ton of siege tanks and you're in siege mode, man, you're going to be in trouble if they happen to get at you in the right angle.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be in the middle of the map with a bunch of tanks sieged up because Zerg is just going to run circles around you. They can counter you, they can flank you, whatever they want to do. So in that regard, it's very good for Zerg. But, you know, I think Nada is going to be very mobile this game. A lot of drop ships, a lot of Marine Medic, not a lot of tanks.
Well, you know, it's really funny. You know, we have a little bit of dead time here, so I want to bring this up. You know, I actually did not expect either of these two guys to make it to the finals, and that's not to say that they're not good. Obviously, these are two of the best players in the world. But normally we see some of the newer gamers on the scene who are really doing well make it to the finals, and this time it's quite unusual to see two reasonably old-school gamers up here after, you know, hacking their way through what a lot of people would say are, you know, the current best players in the world.
Yeah, you know, I thought we were going to see Jangby versus fOrGG actually up here, but these guys, they are so old school, they could probably come right over here on jet lag. They play like monsters. It doesn't even matter. They are so experienced compared to those guys.
Well, we're seeing two scouting SCVs, so I do think that Nada might be interested in some type of rush. Normally, you never see somebody scout with two workers. A lot of people who aren't really familiar with competitive StarCraft tend to not realize that one worker will actually make so much of a difference. I mean, if you have one extra SCV mining, you're going to get so many more minerals, especially in that early game phase.
Oh, definitely. And we see that Nada has actually already gotten gas, and that is why he's scouting two SCVs. I have no idea what he has planned here, but it is definitely something cheesy that we have not seen too often on Andromeda.
Yeah, this is quite unusual. You know, you never see fast gas. I mean, we probably didn't see Terrans going fast gas.
Oh, a proxy factory there. So it looks like he's going to try to sneak in some vultures immediately here against Savior. A really somewhat risky build.
Yeah, this is quite unusual, actually. And, you know, Savior has no idea. The Panda Bear guy in the middle of the map may. But right now, Savior has no idea that there's going to be some pretty unorthodox play here. Actually, you know, now that I think about it in general, we've seen quite unorthodox moves here by Nada, who's, you know, pretty well known for being strong as a standard, you know, style player. My guess is he's going to go ahead and get a vulture, try to dart by this entrance over here, go up here and start harassing drones. Savior could be in for a big surprise here if he's not ready.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to have speedlings, though. He already got his gas, so only about 4 lings so far. But with good micro, a vulture can kill almost any amount of zerglings.
Yeah, you know, one thing about micro and vultures is if you use that patrol button, you know, StarCraft's an old game, but the patrol button actually makes the vulture shoot about a split second faster, and it also fires while moving. And oh my God, he's getting another factory, and the Zerglings actually spotted it.
I cannot believe we're seeing another factory go up, and the Zerglings find that right away. If he micros that just correctly, he can kill the vulture. There you go.
Oh.
Nice micro right there. Placed them perfectly, but not a very quick lifting off that factory.
Yeah, okay, now here we go. He's got the patrol micro up. You can see that Savior actually, hold that thought. He's got to keep it alive. It's critical the vulture stays alive. This is an all-in strategy. This is not something that will allow the game to develop into late game.
Very nice micro there by Nada, and it looks like he is going to go get aggressive right now. He has one shot left on that vulture.
If that vulture is touched, he is dead.
That is right, but there are going to be more vultures coming out very quickly here, and he kills the SCV, making that second factory. That is a really big deal right there. Nada's whole strategy now has to change.
Yeah, I think Nada's going to have to send out an extra SCV or something. But right now, look at this incredible control. He has not allowed that vulture to be touched since the beginning. You know, one thing people might not have noticed is that he actually had the vulture trapped. He had it perfectly surrounded. So Nada, being the quick player he is, literally had to lift his building off and sneak underneath it to get out of there.
You know, now he's getting the add-on for that factory, and what that says to me after Savior has seen what he's doing, I really think we're going to see him just do a weird, really quick mech push on the Sunkens.
Yeah, I think we're going to see exactly that. I think he's going to get a few vultures out here, and then he's going to have one tank. He's going to try to blow up the sunken colony and then try to break in here. Now, you can see the sunken colony is probably not going to allow for these vultures to get in there. I think this is a really smart build because Zergs are always going to double expand on this map. There's an expansion here, very accessible, and then on your low ground there's an expansion over here. We can see that, meanwhile, Savior is counterattacking over here.
A nice speedling counter right there. That's going to be very annoying for Nada to deal with. 2 lings left after that, and that's just going to annoy the hell out of his SCVs.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Now, since the Zerg is double expanded here, he will be getting his tank out a little bit later, so if he can get the tank out there in time, it could prove to be pretty effective.
You know, I do not really like this build that Nada's doing right now. He already has an armory up. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be able to do with these 2 factories. I mean, Savior knows exactly what's going on. He keeps scouting him, and the Spire is already going up in Savior's base.
Yeah, this is a very, 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 very risky build we're seeing here.
And those 2 lings just still wreaking havoc here, really annoying the SCVs, cutting off a lot of mining time. And it's really important right now that Nada gets as many minerals as he can because he's going to need turrets, Goliaths, everything to stop Savior mutas.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, he could build a few turrets out here and do a hard push rather than a soft push. I think that could be effective, especially if he can manage to cut off this hatchery. You can see Savior's already trying to get the extractor up here. He's going to need some more gas for Mutalisks. Man, this game could end very quickly, and I don't know who is really in the lead right now.
You know, I can't tell myself. He's going to have to get... There we go. He does have some tanks up there, and now he's going to be pumping pure Goliaths from here on out. And here come the Zerglings trying to go in to kill some tanks. I don't know if that's going to work. 4 vultures there. Clean up really, really quickly. Oh, and he gets 1 tank. Very surprising there.
Oh, this is going to come down to Micro. He has to pull back, and he has to keep that tank alive. If the tank is not kept alive, it could be over. And you can see the tank is already at half health. I'm kind of shocked that I did not send SCVs for repairing. And, oh, man, he almost stepped into the sunken colony range with that.
And Savior being very smart now, throwing up another sunken. All he has to do is stall until he has a few mutas out. If he gets about 3 or 4 mutas out there, Nada is not going to be able to stop it. 2 factory Goliath being rallied is not very good against Savior.
Yeah, you are 100% right there. And, you know, it looks like we're going to have about 4 or 5 units come out here. I don't think it's physically possible for the Terran to do anything unless he gets up the ramp with the vultures, and that may actually happen here because you can see the sunken colony is now out of range. And this, actually, if he can... No, I know he's back. Not going to get up there. Excuse me.
Yeah, you really got a little bit unlucky there, missing a few shots with those vultures. And here come the mutas, and only 1 Goliath up there right now. That is not going to do too good against these mutas that Savior's going to be making out of 3 hatch.
Oh, he does manage to slip 1 vulture, and meanwhile, the Mutalisks are going to focus on that. And Nada's going to try to do some damage over here to those drones, but he's not focusing. He's much more interested in the tanks. The siege tanks, by the way, are going to have to back off. The Goliaths are going to need to come in here and drive out the Mutalisks.
And it looks like he is just making Goliaths right now. And is he building another building in the center of the map? Looks like he's making a 3rd factory in the center of the map. Nada, you are going crazy, man. Who are you, Boxer?
This is definitely, I do feel like I'm watching Slayer's Boxer, actually. I was going to make a comment like that. Okay, I think the Zerglings and the Mutalisks are going to be able to drive away the Goliaths. This is bad news for Nada.
Yeah, I don't think Nada has anything at home to defend against this. So as soon as Savior cleans up the center here, Nada has basically no production buildings. He has just 1 barracks, no upgrades for those Marines. So it's basically going to be game over if Nada can't hold these 3 factories.
All right, the tank will be taken out, and now I think Nada is in a very dire situation right now. If these factories cannot get defended pretty soon here, I think we're going to see GG. Because, you know, if he loses the factories, what does he have in his main? He has absolutely nothing. The barracks is not even producing.
And there we go. He cleans up all those Goliaths. And Goliaths are just not good against multiple unit types. I mean, if it's just Zerglings or just Mutas, you can really micro against them. But the combination of the 2, there's really nothing Nada's going to be able to do to hold these off.
Yeah, that's 100% true. The air plus ground is just too strong against Goliaths. Goliaths are good against only 1 of the 2 at a time. You can see that he's trying to micro back here. I think this is almost over. It looks like Nada's going to come out here with a loss in game 1.
Yeah, Savior, he is sitting here. He has 3 hatches still, only mining off of 2 of the bases, but that is going to be enough, just rallying these mutas out. He really needs about 4 or 5 Goliaths to actually deal with that, and Savior's just picking them off 1 at a time.
Well, surprisingly, if he can get 1 or 2 more Goliaths out here, he could possibly manage to maybe hold this off. No, I don't know. Actually, you know what? It looks like the Mutalisks might be stacked too well. he just all Savior needs to do is get a few Zerglings again in combination with these Mutalisks, and he can just run over his opponent.
Yeah, and Nada's actually doing a very good job. I would have been dead by now, but he is microing back fiercely with those Goliaths. But really, he needs to do something to secure that center, because Savior's just going to build up his Mutants and come back, as we see he's doing right now.
Yeah, this is pretty wild right now. I have to say, I did not actually expect him to save the factories here, which is quite unusual. But the problem is I think most of this game is going to be focused around the center. I mean, take a look at this. You literally see Savior just defending, attacking these factories. All the attention's over here. This is supposed to be a rush strategy, not a turtling strat, so I think this is going to be bad news.
Yeah, definitely bad news, but Nada is actually getting a lot of Goliaths right now. I'm very surprised and impressed that he has this many Goliaths at this point. Not sure how much good it's going to do, but here we go. The Zerglings coming in finally with those Mutas, try to clean up these Gauls. This is probably not his last try right here, because Savior is really getting his macro going.
Yeah, as you can see, the unit combination of the two groups, it just really hurts the Terran. And as you can see down here, he has not been making SCVs, which really indicates how all-in this is right now. He is not interested in developing his economy whatsoever. And there it is. Good game.
GG.
First game goes to Savior then, and he could actually wrap this up real quickly with another win. I believe our next map is going to be Othello, and there's your winner right there for game number 1, Savior. Your guys' thoughts on that map? You said that Zerg still had a few tricks up their sleeve as far as Andromeda was concerned, but would you say that this was not his game to lose?
This was not his game to lose. I think this was probably his map choice. It's a very comfortable map for a Terran pro gamer, and he just kind of did a very risky strategy I don't think he needed to do.
All right, well, we're moving on to Othello next, and there's our scoreboard. Savior takes the first game. Now, if Savior takes the second game, it is over. He is the winner